Caught my fiancé cheating. We have been together for 5 years, 6 months. My fiancé 26F went to get food and drinks with her co-workers. She doesn't go out much at all, so I really thought nothing of it. Well, she didn't come back till 3 in the morning. A week goes by and she starts saying these things about how she wants to become more independent and work on herself. Additionally listed things that bother her about me, which are so minuscule, but I know I could improve. Her family and I are super close. I don't talk to my own family. We would go to her parents every winter for Christmas. Well, I 28 am in the military and work a lot right now. I could immediately tell something wasn't adding up because I know and understand body language. Turns out she kissed one of them that night, and has been talking to him and deleting her messages. I only found out cause I decided to log on to her computer and check her messages on FB. There were some outlandish crap going back and forth. I could not believe how much they were flirting. Now when I got everything put out on the table, she felt horrible and said how she wants to keep working on our relationship. We are going to do couples counseling this week, but she hinted at having feelings for this guy still. So I kinda was upset because it's either we work on us or you go with this guy. Now, this guy is married, going through a divorce. He lied about his separation status. They are still living together, and when I called him he dimed my ex-fiancé out and said he had no interest in a relationship and it is not a home wrecker. Ironic. I don't know if I should just tell her to pack her stuff and move or work on this. I fear that this could happen again, for example when I am deployed. This one happened while I was here in the States still. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, you can't trust her. The relationship is doomed. Why continue letting her embarrass you? Redditor 2, I'll take she will 100% duck with the guy once you're deployed for 500. There's no more trust, my dude. Time to move on. Redditor follow-up, hey, you never know, she might duck another guy instead. Or several. Redditor 3, of course there is a good chance she will do it again once you are deployed. Especially if she faces no consequences for her shitty behavior this time around. Time to break up. Story 2, I told my mill to duck off and mind her own business. My wife is unhappy but grateful. She also doesn't honor to talk to me right now. My wife and I 28M28F have been together for 8 years and her mom never seemed to like me very much. She also doesn't seem to like her own daughter, but I can't say for sure. Anyway, my wife gave birth to twins in January. We were just learning the routines and ropes of parenthood when in early April, my wife got in a car accident. She's had to have 2 surgeries and lots of PT. So childcare has fallen on me mostly. My wife feels guilty she isn't being a mother, but I know that she's doing her best. Because of all these factors, we haven't really had time. The most intimate we get is cuddling because we are both beyond tired by the end of day. We also have no help BTW, but we both have WFM jobs, so that's a good thing. No time is not an issue for me because I want my wife to heal and be well first. Now, Twin A has been a bit sick and apparently the twin connection is real, so whenever Twin A cries, it sets of Twin B. They also are both going through a we hate sleep phase, so wife and I are both exhausted. Mill comes over. I'm a bit irritable because she came over randomly, no phone, no text, no nothing. She starts commenting that the house is messy, and we have a few unopened packages here and there. I can see my wife tearing up because she already feels bad about everything, so I tell Mill to duck off because her comments are not helpful. She could offer to help, we are not expecting this. I admit I spoke rudely, so she says oh wow op, is wife name not putting out for you? She then turns to my wife and says, this is what happens when you don't keep your husband satisfied, they will take their frustrations out on someone else. Be careful. My wife was in tears by this point, so I told Mill to get out of the house. I wanted to say some other things too, but wife was very upset. Mill left. Wife said thanks in a sour tone but didn't want me to talk to her mom that way. She's in our kids' room and is avoiding me. What do I do? Redditor's reactions, story 3 after. Redditor 1, the problem here is your wife needs to learn boundaries and to stand up to her mom. It is not your role or position to be telling her off. Because it's different, you are not her child. This fuels Mill behavior even more. Your wife is the one who needs to learn to shut down her mom's comments and behavior. When Mill makes a rude comment, your wife needs to be the one to say, those kinds of comments aren't appreciated, unhelpful, and will not be tolerated. Mill pushes further. Your wife tells her firmly but politely to leave. This is a lesson in boundaries, truly. Mill behavior continues. You continue escalating the punishment, reduce cut contact, milk, can't see the grandkids, etc. What do you have to lose? If Mill is already a negative in the life, why subject everyone to it further? That is where reducing cutting contact ends up being a perfectly fine solution if Mill doesn't want to treat you and your wife, her daughter, with decency and respect. Wife needs to set boundaries too, that Mill cannot come over unannounced. Do not forget, this is your life together, your kids, your marriage. Mill does not have influence or impact here. Talk to your wife about what kind of dynamic and in-law relationship you want together, come to an understanding, make a plan, go from there. Redditor 2, your Mill sounds like a peach. Your wife is embarrassed by her mother's criticism and hurt by her lack of help. It probably would have been better to have spoken up in defense of your wife rather than cursing at your Mill. Send your Mill this text, then show your wife that you've sent it. I wish I had not cursed at you, because it upset my wife, so I am sorry. Our relationship is fine and we are doing the best we can under trying circumstances. Your daughter is an excellent wife and mother. In the future, if you are going to come over to help or to cheer X up, you will be welcome, but if you are coming over to criticize us, please stay home. Redditor 3, so. Just to recap. You are dealing with both new twins and a hurt wife. You are handling all the chores, keeping the house running, and working at the same time. Your Mill comes in and starts harassing you for not doing a good enough job, but she won't roll up her sleeves to help. So you snapped at her. She then starts telling your wife that she's not putting out enough. Great googly moogly. My Sil had twins, no car accident, and it still took my wife and Mill to help her keep her sanity and house on an even keel. I'd say you're doing some heavy lifting, bud. Snapping at your Mill is completely justified. Telling her to get out of the house is also completely justified. Frankly, I'd have been less cool about it than you are describing. My advice: give your wife a hug. Only address the putting out comment. Leave the rest on a back burner for another day. Tell her it was a highly inappropriate comment, and completely off base. That you are short-tempered due to lack of sleep and worry over her health. Story 3, taking my wife back after her affair and our divorce has been the best decision in my life. I know a lot of you will think I am crazy, a fool, or both. But hear me out. After confronting her about the affair, her gaslighting and blame shifting were just too much. I threw her out and divorced her. I dated around and even had a 7-month relationship with a lovely lady. And, not proud of this BTW, I even slept with several of her friends. But, at the end of the day, none of them were her. We had over 25 years of shared history. She is the mother of my wonderful children who are now successful young adults. And I still loved her. So I reached out to her parents who I remained friends with to see what was going on in her life at the moment. And discovered that, after getting served the divorce, she attempted suicide and was hospitalized. Was diagnosed with bipolar 2 and put on medication for it. And that diagnosis helped explain a lot of her behavior. Got into therapy and has stayed in therapy to discover what made her capable of betraying me like that. Did not get involved with anyone else. Not one single date in almost 3 years. In other words, she owned her exit and stood up and did something about it. And I can tell you all this. She is almost a different person now. And a far better person. She also made sure that she stayed compliant with her medications and went to get them adjusted when she started feeling off. We have been back together now for several months and things, while not perfect, have been so rewarding. I feel whole again with her by my side. The kids are definitely happy we are reconciling now. As long as things continue to go this well. We are getting remarried next June on what would have been our 31st wedding anniversary. But it took getting divorced and losing everything to snap her out of the affair fog and back to reality. And it is her actions that are speaking to me now. They have all been loving, honest and consistent. And have allowed me to begin trusting her again. So guys, reconciliation is possible if your wayward partner is willing to own their choices, get help, humble themselves and do the hard work towards recovery. I have fallen head over heels in love with her again, though I never stopped loving her in the first place. And every single day she is proving to me that she despises what she and who she had become before, during and immediately after the affair. Is doing the work to better herself. Is dedicated to our relationship in ways she never did before. And she is the absolute love of my life. I am very happy. I bid you all peace and healing. Edit, holy crap. I never expected this much of a response. For all of you who commented. Thank you, each and every one, even those that were negative. And even the ones that were downright ugly. I do not want to live in an echo chamber where I only hear what I agree with. And while I may not respond to everyone, I am reading every comment. Thank you again. Edit 2, for those either asking or making ill-founded assumptions. 1. There will be a legally enforceable prenup before we get remarried to protect myself. She is aware and totally on board with this. 2. I have not declared victory. Recovery from infidelity is a lot like recovery from substance abuse. It is a lifelong process. What can be achieved is healing. And we are well on our way. Again, it is a journey. 3. I made a deliberate choice to both forgive her and to forgive the affair. This does not mean I have forgotten what happened or why it happened. 4. I am aware of the challenges of her mental illness. But I am educated and prepared to deal with those issues. And so is she. Thanks again. Edit 3, okay, even though it says it above. I am not proud of my behavior in sleeping with some of her friends. They were single and I was single. I did not step outside my marriage. But I am not proud of basically using them or being used by them. And there was an element of both. Which you tell you what sort of friends they were. But I was not a good guy then either. Thanks. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, Congratulations buddy, nice to see a happy ending for you, best of luck to you. You done a bang on job and it worked out for you. Joy and fortune to you both. Op answer, thanks man, means a lot. We are both happy and looking forward to what is to come. We are both retired, early too, and looking forward to our time together. I just purchased an RV and we are packing up the house now and are going to spend the next couple of years on the road with just the two of us. And my sister and one of our close friends will be house sitting for us while we are gone. Which give me a lot more peace of mind. House is only a bit over a year old. I had it built when I sold my company, software and patents, to a certain company based in Seattle. And I love that house. So I am happy to give them a free place to live while we run around North America. Redditor 2, but you slept with several of her friends, so how does that work? They still friends with her and know what your bedroom skills are like? Don't get it. Redditor 3, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Update, NSFW, what a wonderful morning. My sweet wife has been hospitalized until a few days ago, getting through a manic episode and a small medication adjustment. She is bipolar 1 and we have to do this on occasion. So, when she was discharged, I booked a suite for us at the Peabody, in downtown Memphis. So far, so good. I also was the fortunate receiver of some good timing when an old friend of ours reached out to me while my wife was still inpatient. This friend, let's just be open and honest now, is actually an old lover. My wife is bisexual and she and my wife met years before at her work. After she left my wife's company, she struck up a relationship with us. And lived with us a few years before she met a nice guy and moved in with him. Well, she is now single again, and we set up a big surprise for my wife the first night. And she was just floored, she was so surprised and thrilled. So I did good there. However, my wife had a surprise for me this morning, inspired by what another wife posted her a few days ago. Talking about giving her husband a blowjob every morning to start the day. And woke me up with a blowjob straight from heaven. Our friend was out running a couple of errands and she wanted to let me know how much she appreciated all the things I had done for her lately. And wanted to know if I would like to begin the day that way. Ah, yes please. So, for the lady who made that post the other day, I cannot thank you enough. And there is no ulterior motive in play either. My wife knows that all she has to do is ask and it is hers. As long as it is in my power to do so. She just wanted to spice things up a little more in the bedroom and keep things fresh. What an awesome woman. And yes, I returned the favor right away. So we both have giant smiles on our faces this morning, so I guess we have to include our friend when she gets back from her errands. So this entire post is just to say what a sweet, thoughtful, smart, funny, beautiful and sexy woman I have the great fortune to be married to. And to have shared over 30 years of my life with. You are the best, babe. I do not have the words to tell you how much I love and adore you. You make every part of me better for having known you. And I am damn proud to be your husband. I love you, babe. And I always will. Sarge. Story 4, I struggled trying to understand not getting closure, then closure came. Earlier I posted asking why they leave and don't say goodbye, as it had been over a month since my ex-WP said anything to me and his last words to me were "Go Jets, go sports team." He's been with AP for 8 months. It's like the universe heard me. My phone rang last night at 9:30, with a private number. I answered, no big deal. It was WP. Drunker than a skunk, no surprise. He was sobbing, telling me he wanted closure and to apologize for what he did. Yeah, whatever. Empty words we've all heard before. Then he says, AP isn't cutting it. Says he's in a situation now with her and her kid, and he doesn't know how to get out of it. Says he can't move on from me and made a huge mistake. Says that's not the life he wants and he is miserable every day without me. Said he's been looking at my 2018 photo, and the sparkle I had in my eye when we were happy. Then went on some drunken tangents about how I never supported him during his depression and AP did, and how suicidal he is. He said this all the time when we argued. I finally told him I had to go, and out of respect for AP, to never call me again. I hung up on him. Well, that satisfied any bad feelings I had about him doing better in sobriety without me, and AP being better than me. Stay strong, my friends. Karma actually does exist, and this happened a lot faster than I imagined. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, this is one of the more satisfying things I've read today. Redditor follow-up, I agree, that was like a dig into my fave pint of ice cream, kind of satisfying. So good. Redditor 2, another example of how you really are better a cheater. Redditor 3, you got closure but he's not even started realizing what he did. Good job. Go North Carolina, and refuse to give him an opportunity for closure. Until he finds closure, he'll suffer and remember what he lost. He will not go gently into the night, he will make more attempts. Just brush him off and move forward since you know what he is. Answer, that's my plan. I did tell him if he was serious about apologizing or closure, he'd at least do it sober. He'll run back to AP for now until his next wave of nostalgia hits. He really had no idea what he lost when he chose AP. He grossly underestimated the grass being greener with her. Downgrade for sure.